Hello there, my name's Tracy Elsom and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Canada, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have a quick video for you using the Peony dies. These dies are new from Stampin' Up! I put them all into a clear mount stamp case with a cover on just because it makes it easier for me to access them. And on the inside I stick some self-adhesive magnetic sheet. So when you get the dies, they look like this. You've just got a selection of dies. Now the set actually is designed to coordinate with the prized Peony stamp set, and these dies that I've put on this side correspond to the images in the stamp set. The other dies, these ones on here, which I've deliberately separated, these are the ones that make up the peony and the leaves for the peony. And then we have one extra die, which I'm not sure if you can see that. It will cut a scallop, but it will also emboss the edge, which is very pretty, and you can use that with lots of different projects. But I've realised that for many customers, when they're faced with these dies, these ones are really obvious. These ones, not so much. So you look at that and go, okay, so how does that make a peony? So today I'm going to show you. So first of all, when you get the peonies dies out, if you just start with the largest one, so ignore the three at the top, which are the leaves, the three sets at the top, which are the leaves. So that's the largest, then that one, then that one, and that one, and then this tiny little one there. So we're just going to start with those. So as you can see, they get smaller, and at the bottom of each one, I want you to notice there's this curved notch. You can see that on each of those first four. Just forget about the little tiny one for the minute. And it's this notch which will help you to put the peony together. So what I have done is, off camera, save time, I have die cut some pieces from purple posy card. So here we are. These are our 5 pieces. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little one for later. Okay, so just for your reference, I've cut all of those 5 pieces from a quarter sheet of 8.5 by 11 card. So this is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So you could actually get easily 5 peonies from one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So to make putting it together a little bit more visual for you, I have some other pieces. So again, put them in the right places. That's the missing one. There we go. So I cut them out of different colour card so that you can really see how it goes together. So I like to start with the largest one, and with this slot you're going to take the next one and you're going to slide it in. And remember that notch? We're going to line that notch up. Then open up that one, take the number 3, slide it in, and you match up the notch, and you can see how on the back that notch fits together. So that's 3. Open that up, and this one gets tighter, but you slide that one in, and again you can match up that notch. And then finally we have our little tiny piece, and that just slides in that top slot, and there essentially is your peony flower. Now that might look a little bit avant-garde, but at least you can see where each successive layer goes around. So maybe it would make more sense for you like that. So I went off and I attempted to make a flower, and I put it together okay. That wasn't the issue, but I wasn't impressed with my colouring, so I kind of sponged where I thought I would need to sponge. No, didn't work. Wasn't happy with that one at all. So I went to the catalogue and I had a look at their sample and I tried to recreate what they had, and that gave me this one. So what I actually did was draw on my pieces, looking at the catalogue, and draw roughly, you might be able to see a little pencil line just there, where I drew a pencil line where I thought the colouring needed to go. And that was better. But to be honest, and I thought, yeah, it's better, but for most people, you might not want to do that. You might not want to have to spend the time drawing on it before you could colour it. So I've come up with another option. And to be honest, I don't think it's too bad. So let's put those two there. So what I'm going to do, I will show you this one. So this was my third attempt to make the peony and to colour it. And you can see all the layers are there. They're harder to see which bit belongs to which is why I've created this one. And this is always useful to have as a reference. Maybe leave it in the stamp case so you've got a reference as to how it goes together and how it looks. But I want to show you how I did this flower, and it's so much easier than everything else. So all I'm going to do is, with these purple posy pieces, I'm going to put it together in exactly the same way I did before. So opening up each slot, taking successive pieces, 3, 4, there we go. So there are my 4 pieces. And I'm just going to put a dab of liquid glue on the back, just either side of that notch, and I'm going to attach each of the various pieces to that. I can get them in, lining up those notches. So there's the first one. And to be honest, it'd probably be easier to do this each time. So before you put the next one in, glue the one before in. But, you know, we're live. We do what we do. So there we go. And again, you can see I've lined up that notch. Little bit of glue there. And let's put number 4 in. So number 5 is almost an afterthought. You don't need to worry about that until right at the very end. So now I've got all of that glued together. It's going to make my life a lot easier. So now, this is purple posy, so I've decided to go with a slightly darker purple. So I've gone with Highland Heather. And I have a sponge. You could use a sponge, you could use a sponge dauber, lots of different things you could do with this. But this is what I've come up with. So I'm looking at the front of the peony, and you really can't see very much at the moment. So I'm just going to very gently sponge over the whole thing. And you can see I'm not picking out particular sections. I'm just going over the whole thing. And what that does is it creates areas of light and shade. And suddenly those layers that you couldn't see before suddenly appear. You can actually see all those, and you've got the dark edges. But I wasn't standing there trying to get into each individual crevice to do it. And then here's a very vanilla piece here, so I could open up that little slot, because don't forget we've only glued at the bottom. We only glued that bottom edge. So now I can glue that piece in and I have a peony, or I could decide to use the pale uninked purple posy, and there you have it. There's my ideas for playing with the peony. It's this one where you just put it together and then ink over the top. Really is the most simple, and you can do a lot with that. And that's what I did here. This one is very vanilla card, and I've inked over it with rich raspberry. But actually I did it exactly the same. And the bottom petals are darker just because I went over the bottom more when I was doing my inking. So I hope that's been useful. If you go to my blog today, you will see all the measurements and instructions to create this card, and there'll be a link in the description bar below, so you'll be able to find that there. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe, make sure you press the little bell, and that means you'll get a notification every time a new video is posted. And over on my blog, every single day, there's a new project, new ideas for paper crafting, and you'll find that at www.papercraftwithme.com. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely Friday, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.